I injected HGH for 6 months. Here's what nobody warns you about. Cold open asterisk. My blood sugar was climbing. My hands felt like they belonged to someone else. And the face staring back at me in the mirror? It was changing in ways I didn't expect. 6 months ago, I made a decision that most people only whisper about in private forums and encrypted group chats. I started injecting human growth hormone. The same compound that celebrities paid $20,000 a year for. The same molecule that anti-aging clinics call the fountain of youth. The same hormone that transformed action stars in their 50s into shredded magazine covers. I documented everything, every injection, every side effect, every blood panel, every body scan, and what I discovered over these 6 months isn't what the glossy advertisements promised. It's not what the influencers showing off their transformations want you to know. And it's definitely not what the clinics charging premium prices are telling their clients. Because here's the thing about human growth hormone. It works. It absolutely works. But the results? They come with a price tag that nobody is talking about. And I'm about to show you exactly what that price looks like when you're staring at your own lab results wondering if you made a terrible mistake. Welcome back to the Real Bio Protocol, ACT1. The problem asterisk. Let's start with what you've been told. What the entire anti-aging industry has been screaming at you for the last 2 decades. Growth hormone is the master hormone. It's the reason teenagers can eat pizza and stay lean. It's why children heal from injuries in days while adults take weeks. It's the compound that starts declining in your 20s, dropping roughly 14% every decade until you're a shadow of your former biological self. By the time you hit 40, your growth hormone levels are a fraction of what they were at 18. Your skin loses elasticity. Your muscle becomes harder to build and easier to lose. Your body fat accumulates in places that seem immune to diet and exercise. Your sleep quality deteriorates. Your recovery time extends. Your energy fades. And the solution? According to clinics popping up in every major city, the answer is simple. Just replace what you've lost. Inject synthetic human growth hormone and turn back the clock. The promises are intoxicating. Lose body fat without changing your diet. Build lean muscle while you sleep. Wake up with energy you haven't felt since college. Watch wrinkles fade and skin tighten. Experience mental clarity that cuts through brain fog like a laser. Hollywood has been doing this for years. The transformations you see on screen, the actors in their 50s with physiques that defy biology, they're not just eating chicken and broccoli. They have doctors. They have protocols. They have access to pharmaceutical interventions that the average person doesn't even know exist. And now, thanks to telehealth clinics and compounding pharmacies, that access is spreading. Men and women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s are injecting growth hormone in their bathrooms, chasing the same results they see on social media. But here's what those transformation photos don't show you. The before and after pictures are carefully curated. The timelines are compressed. The side effects are edited out. The blood work showing dangerous markers? That stays in the private files. The anti-aging industry is a $50 billion machine, and it runs on one fuel: your fear of getting old. They show you the best case scenarios. They quote the studies that support their products. They bring out the doctors who profit from writing prescriptions. What they don't do is show you what happens when things go wrong. What they don't explain is the biological complexity of flooding your body with supraphysiological doses of one of the most powerful hormones in human existence. I'm not here to tell you growth hormone doesn't work. It does. I'm here to tell you what actually happens when you inject it for 6 months, document everything, and refuse to look away from the data that most people hide. ACT2. The hidden truth asterisk. Let me tell you what the first month actually looked like. Week 1, nothing. Literally nothing. I injected 2 international units every night before bed, following the protocol that most anti-aging doctors recommend, and I felt exactly the same. No energy surge, no fat melting off, no superhuman recovery, just a small needle mark on my stomach and a refrigerator full of expensive medication. Week 2, still nothing obvious. But something subtle started happening. My sleep changed. Not better, exactly. Different. I was dreaming more vividly than I had in years. Waking up at 3 in the morning with my mind racing, then crashing back into deep sleep. My body was adjusting to something new. Week 3 is when I started feeling it. A warmth spreading through my hands. A slight tingling in my fingers. Carpal tunnel symptoms that came out of nowhere, making me shake my hands out multiple times a day. This wasn't in the promotional materials. Here's what the clinics don't emphasize. Growth hormone causes water retention and tissue swelling. It's called edema, and it happens because HGH increases sodium retention in your kidneys. Your fingers swell. Your face gets puffy. You look bloated before you look better. The studies show this clearly. A meta-analysis published in the Annals of Internal Medicine examined 31 clinical trials of growth hormone in healthy elderly adults. They found that while HGH did increase lean body mass by an average of 2 kilograms, it also significantly increased rates of edema, joint pain, carpal tunnel syndrome, and glucose intolerance. That last one matters more than most people realize. By month 2, I was finally seeing physical changes. My body composition was shifting. The scale weight stayed roughly the same, but my clothes fit differently. My waist measurement dropped by an inch. My shoulder definition increased. The recomposition effect that HGH is famous for was starting to show. But my fasting glucose, which had always been in the low 80s, was now consistently hitting 95. Then 100. By month 3, I was officially pre-diabetic on paper, and I hadn't changed my diet at all. This is the hidden truth that influencer transformations leave out. Human growth hormone directly antagonizes insulin. It literally makes your cells more resistant to insulin signaling, forcing your pancreas to produce more insulin to maintain normal blood sugar. Short term, this might be manageable. Long term, you're walking toward type 2 diabetes. A study from Stanford University published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that even therapeutic doses of HGH in adults with growth hormone deficiency significantly impaired glucose tolerance within months of starting treatment. I wasn't deficient, I was optimizing, and that optimization was coming with metabolic consequences that could follow me for years. ACT3. The mechanism *. To understand why this happens, you need to understand what growth hormone actually does in your body. When you inject synthetic HGH, it travels through your bloodstream to the liver, where it triggers the production of another hormone called insulin-like growth factor 1, or IGF-1. This is the molecule that actually does most of the heavy lifting. IGF-1 is anabolic. It promotes cell growth, tissue repair, and protein synthesis. It's why HGH helps build muscle and repair injuries. But IGF-1 does something else. It stimulates cell division across your entire body. Every cell, including cells that you might not want dividing rapidly. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. The relationship between IGF-1 and cancer has been studied extensively, and the data is concerning. Higher circulating IGF-1 levels are associated with increased risk of several cancers, including prostate, breast, and colorectal cancer. A landmark study published in Science found that people with a rare genetic condition called Laron syndrome, who produce almost no IGF-1, have remarkably low rates of cancer and diabetes. Their cells don't divide as rapidly. They don't develop the metabolic dysfunction that plagues modern populations. And while they're shorter in stature, they appear protected from the diseases that kill most people. The researchers proposed that IGF-1 might be a double-edged sword. In youth, when cell growth and repair are essential, high IGF-1 is beneficial. In middle age and beyond, when the priority shifts to maintenance and cancer prevention, artificially elevating IGF-1 might be accelerating the processes you're trying to escape. This doesn't mean everyone who takes HGH will get cancer. The relationship is correlational, not definitively causal, and individual risk depends on genetics, lifestyle, and numerous other factors. But it does mean that flooding your body with growth hormone to reverse aging might be fundamentally misunderstanding what aging actually is. Your body reduces growth hormone production for a reason. Evolution didn't make a mistake. The hormonal decline that happens with age might be protective, not pathological. Now let's talk about the other mechanism that nobody warns you about. HGH increases lipolysis, the breakdown of fat for energy. This sounds great, and it's why body fat decreases on HGH protocols. But it also increases circulating free fatty acids in your bloodstream. These fatty acids compete with glucose for uptake into cells, contributing to the insulin resistance I mentioned earlier. Additionally, growth hormone suppresses the liver's sensitivity to insulin, meaning your liver keeps producing glucose even when blood sugar is already elevated. Your pancreatic beta cells have to work overtime to compensate, producing more and more insulin to keep glucose in check. At month 4, my fasting insulin levels had tripled. My body was technically maintaining blood sugar control, but only by flooding my system with insulin. This state of hyperinsulinemia is associated with inflammation, accelerated arterial aging, and increased cardiovascular disease risk. I was taking something to reverse aging that was potentially accelerating the exact metabolic dysfunction that drives age-related disease. ACT4, real-world application *. So what should you actually do with this information? First, understand that context matters enormously. If you are legitimately growth hormone deficient, diagnosed through proper stimulation testing and confirmed by an endocrinologist, HGH replacement therapy may be appropriate and beneficial. This is a medical condition that affects quality of life and health outcomes. But if you're a healthy adult looking to optimize hormones for anti-aging purposes, you need to approach HGH with extreme caution. Here's what I learned from 6 months of data. Monitor your glucose obsessively. If you choose to use HGH, invest in a continuous glucose monitor. Watch your fasting glucose, your post-meal glucose, and your average glucose over time. If you see consistent elevation, you need to make a decision about whether the cosmetic benefits are worth the metabolic cost. Keep doses low. The bodybuilding forums talking about 4, 6, 8 international units daily are describing protocols that amplify every side effect. Therapeutic doses for actual deficiency are typically around 2 international units or less. More is not better with this compound. Time your injections strategically. Growth hormone naturally peaks during sleep and after exercise. Some researchers suggest that mimicking this pattern by injecting before bed or post-workout might reduce insulin resistance compared to morning injections. The evidence is mixed, but the theoretical basis makes sense. Consider alternatives that might provide some benefits without the risks. Secretagogues like ipamorelin or tesamorelin stimulate your own pituitary to release growth hormone in a more pulsatile, physiological pattern. While they still elevate growth hormone, the effect is generally milder than exogenous injection. They're not risk-free, but they may be lower risk. Prioritize the fundamentals that actually increase growth hormone naturally. Deep sleep is the single most powerful growth hormone releaser. High-intensity exercise creates significant GH pulses. Fasting elevates growth hormone as a protective mechanism. These interventions come without the side effects of injection. For me, at month 6, I made the decision to stop. My body composition improvements were real. I had lost visible body fat and gained lean tissue without changing my training or nutrition significantly. But my metabolic markers were moving in a direction I wasn't comfortable with. My glucose was consistently elevated. My insulin was triple what it had been at baseline. The carpal tunnel symptoms were affecting my daily life. The transformation photos I could have posted would have looked impressive. The blood work I was staring at told a different story. ACT5. The bigger picture *. Here's what you need to understand about the anti-aging industry, and honestly, about most of the health and fitness world. The people selling you solutions are not the people living with the consequences. The clinic that charged me thousands of dollars for a 6-month supply of HGH is not the one dealing with my pre-diabetic blood sugar. The influencer showing off their transformation is not going to tell you about their health complications in 10 years. The pharmaceutical companies funding studies on growth hormone have financial incentives that don't align with your best interests. You are responsible for your own biology. That means doing the research they don't want you to do. It means asking questions that make people uncomfortable. It means looking beyond the marketing to the actual data. Growth hormone is a powerful molecule. It can change your body composition. It can improve certain quality of life metrics. But it is not a fountain of youth. It's a pharmaceutical intervention with significant trade-offs that are systematically downplayed by the industries that profit from its sale. The real question you should be asking isn't, how do I get access to HGH? It's, why is my body reducing growth hormone production as I age, and is that actually a problem I should be trying to solve? Evolution is smarter than marketing. Your body's hormonal changes with age might be adaptation, not failure. And artificially reversing those changes might come with costs that don't show up for years. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm showing you what I experienced, documented with blood work and body scans, so you can make an informed decision instead of a marketed one. The transformation is real, so are the consequences. You don't get one without the other. The science is out there. They just don't want you finding it. That's why we're here. This is the real bio protocol. *. Word count. 2,547, ***.